Mr. Chris has said a lot of things on the podcast, but he really meant this.
I came across, not to bury the lead, but I came across in my reviews in the last week or so, like moves that have like 9 or 10 separate moves. And they're just like scattered. Some of them look like someone took a shotgun against a map.
Hello, agents, scouts, trainers, keepers, pilots, hunters, eighth ballers, and our beloved explorers and wayfinders. Welcome to episode 218 of the Wayspotters Podcast, a podcast dedicated to helping you become a better wayfinder. Wayspotters is brought to you by the good people at the Pokemon Professor Network and our good friends at Pickaxe. Today is Wednesday, March 18th, and with me as always is Jamal. How's it going, man?
What's up, man? How you doing today?
I'm good. I got one more day at the old job before I start the new job.
Right on. That's exciting, man. I'm excited
Very
for
excited.
you. Big step for you and the family and all that.
Yep. Yeah, it's exciting. So we got to, not to kind of burn the bridge, but I've been using my work laptop to do this recording. So I had to record a day early this week because I have to give the laptop back before I get the new one. So.
Extra day to edit.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It's not like we don't have enough to talk about that we can't do this a day early. So,
right.
But yeah, I'm excited. What's new with you, man?
What's new with me? Same old. We are coming to the end of Girl Scout cookie season, so that should free up some weekends. So anybody who wanted cookies, sorry about your luck. We're damn near done. But that's about it. Nothing really groundbreaking or new here. Just trying to get through and trying not to tick everybody off online and trying not to be an uncultured swine. And that's about it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. We got a bunch of stuff going on here. My kid made one of the 2 rep teams for lacrosse, so we're excited. He's on the one where most of the minors go on because he plays in the same age group for 2 straight years, and he's on the basically the younger team, which makes sense, right? So we're excited.
Nice. I love. Does he still have that same fire and work ethic that he had at the end of last season? It just got better. That's awesome.
They announced. The organization was like, hey, we've got some floor time that we forgot that we purchased. Here's the age groups and the times. If anybody wants to come out. Jackson was the only one from his age group to show up.
Okay.
So
you're like, let's go.
Sat on the floor for about 45 minutes to an hour shooting balls at him. Just me and him. It was fun.
That's awesome. That's cool, man.
Yeah. All right, let's jump into the news.
And now, the latest Niantic Spatial and Scopely news from the Wayspotters Podcast, presented by the Pokemon Professor Network.
All right, we got asked on Twitter if we knew anything about the Pogo map not syncing. So I replied to them on Twitter, and I wanted to also share it here. I said it's not irregular for the Pogo map sync to blip like a day or two here and there. It happens quite often. It's when it gets to like 2 or 3 days that we start to worry, right? So I'm like, yeah, it's probably nothing to worry about it. Little did I know the map hasn't synced since the 13th, so it's been
a while.
Yeah, it's been almost a full week. It's been 5 days since, at the time of recording at least, and it sucks because I got something down the street from me approved, and should trigger a new gym right near me, and I'm really, really, really hoping it's one of the 2 stops that I can hit from my house.
Nice.
So Niantic is aware of the map not syncing. They said that there's an issue with it and everything should sync once it's resolved. It was a very deflectory kind of answer. So I think it's one of those things that the Pogo team's working on, and I think it was Niantic Aaron was just like, yeah, it's a problem. We know.
Yeah.
So,
and it's kind of dominated the forums. Everybody's like, what's going on? This and that. And it's kind of like, I want to do that meme where the guy's got the noose around his neck and he's like, first time?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So once it syncs, I'll throw something out on Twitter, because that thing across the street will show up, and then everything will be hunky-dory again.
Nice.
And that's all I got
awesome.
for the news. Real quick, I want to get this out of the way. We're not quitting. If you read the title of the show or looked at the thumbnail of the thing, we are not quitting. We're not going anywhere. However, we are saying goodbye to Operation Portal Recon, generally known as OPR. We talked about it briefly on last week's show, but I've said we are going to cover both APR. We've said that we're going to cover both OPR and Wayfarer on the show, so I think we owe it to our listeners to actually discuss what's happening, why we think it's happening, how we got here, and how OPR moves forward, if it even can move forward. So that, this week, is topic number 1.
Get ready for topic number 1.
Trying something a little bit new this week with a preamble and going into the topics.
Like it.
So, March 9th, Niantic Spatial announced that on March 11th, they would be pausing the rollout of OPR. Not that it was much of a rollout to begin with, but they announced, hey, in a couple of days, we're going to be pausing OPR. They also got rid of overclock, which is not something that I have ever done. And I had to look up what it was, to be honest. And in me looking up what it was, I saw a lot of angry people. So both of these are not very happy, very, very well received decisions by Niantic Spatial. So we're not going to talk about overclocking because I have absolutely no idea what it is, and I would be talking out of my poop hole. So this is what they said. This was the announcement was very short, and it was essentially OPR be paused, overclock go bye-bye, see you later. The actual quote was, our goal is to make sure we can support our Ingress community for the long term. In the short term, this means focusing our time on campaigns and global ops and improving our game's infrastructure. Interesting choice of words there. In the longer term, we recognize the importance of having a high-quality, updated portal network, and we'll work on new ways we can better support our mapping initiatives like OPR in the future. So I have a couple of things that I want to point out in this statement.
Okay.
One, improving the game's infrastructure. So that means that I think that they're going to try and upgrade Ingress somehow to make it better, maybe new features. Ingress has been out for a hot minute, so I don't know.
13 years, right? It's been 13 years.
It's a game. I know Ingress fans are going to get mad when I say this, but it's essentially a game where you make triangles. I don't know how much more they can reinvent the triangle. You know what I mean? But the thing that caught my eye was, we'll work on new ways we can better support our mapping initiatives like OPR in the future.
So I want to stop you there. I don't know that I buy what they're saying, because overclock was widely popular. A lot of people used it to get extra items, and I'm not a programmer. I've said this before. I'm not a programmer, but I don't know that it took up a lot of resources for people to overclock or for them to support overclock. So I don't understand the disconnect on why they had to stop it. I get Recon, and I'm sure you're going to touch on some of the abuses and things they saw with Recon, but I don't get the overclock part. And, trying to improve the mapping of... So here's the thing. Long story, I'll cut to the chase. How do you improve the mapping of a game by turning off people being able to add to the map? That's my question.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that... We're going to get into this in a second, but I think that the crux of this is they don't have the people,
right,
to deal with what's going on, right? And I think that there was probably some abuse in both, but we'll get to that when we get to that.
Yes.
So it sounds like they don't have the time, essentially, is I think what's happening here. And I honestly think that they have other ideas that they want to do, and their team is probably stretched so thin that they want to focus on that. So, like, if I'm an Ingress agent, I think that maybe the campaigns and global ops thing is probably something that you can get excited about.
Well, I was going to say, Chris, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but that's one thing that a lot of the local Ingress players have been really upset about, because they are focusing on campaigns, which they're going to try to monetize, as opposed to OPR and Overclock, which were essentially free items. People are not that jazzed. I've had 5 or 6 people tell me they canceled their, what was their subscription service called?
Prime?
No, it was, anyhow, someone's like yelling at their phone right now about their subscription service.
I'm gonna load Ingress. I'm sure it'll tell me when I try and log in.
Yeah. I canceled mine. Core, yes. C.O.R.E. I don't remember what it stands for. But I canceled my core right after the split. I think about a month after the split, I canceled mine, because I didn't really love Ingress that much anymore. But I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do it. But I don't. A lot of the locals are not excited about the paid campaigns, because you know how it is when you have something essentially for free for a long time and then you charge for it. It kind of makes it hard to swallow when there wasn't a huge improvement to the product. Now, unless they're planning to improve campaigns, there wasn't a huge improvement, but now it's going to cost X99 or whatever the case may be.
Yeah, I mean, that's a lot of games run into that problem when they first introduce things, and then they're all of a sudden like, oh, so this blew up, and now we need more money and resources to actually run the game with the servers and the people and the, to create stuff. So now we need money. So now we're going to start charging for those things that we gave you for free. And that never ends well. Mm-hmm. Almost never ends well. My wife plays a game, bought it. Disney Dreamlight Valley was originally free to play. They were just like, we're gonna create this game. It's got a bunch of Disney characters, licensed by Disney, blah, blah, blah. It's this whole world, right? And then eventually they were just like, okay, so we have all these ideas and all these plans. We can't do this for free. So now it's an $80 game, essentially.
Right.
Yeah. But like that, they said when they were like, hey, we're going to charge money for this, but this is all of the stuff that you're going to get and all the stuff that the money's going to... People were like, cool, I get it. But this is just like, oh yeah, it used to be free, now it's not. What extra you're getting out of it? I don't know.
Yeah. We're actually going to take away a couple of things you like.
Right, yeah. And like, pausing OPR is not going over well.
No.
Right? It is not going over well. So let's talk about why. And I'm going to preface all of this with, this is pure speculation on our part, but it was cheating. That's it. That is 100%, in my opinion, the only reason that they're pausing OPR, because it apparently got incredibly out of control.
So it was 17, 21, 18, somewhere between 15 and 20 E&L agents in China, or in that part of the world, figured, we can say this because it's out there, right? Figured out some script and just went wild. And it was like rampant cheating, and they essentially shut it down. I mean, it was crazy. So I found the Reddit page where people were talking about it, and I sent it in our Discord, and to read that, I was like, there's people in this world way smarter than me.
Yes. Like, it is crazy how they figured this out. They essentially found a bunch of agents who were getting thousands of agreements a day.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I'm not like that. That is an absurd amount of agreements to get in such a short period of time. So what was happening was they had, and this is all on Reddit, this is all out there, so we're not saying anything that's kind of hidden or any whatever. They just had bots running 24/7 doing reviews, and they had AI generating portals and submitting them 24/7. Mm-hmm. And they would go out and then the bots would create them, and then the other bots would vote for the ones that bot created, and those bots created more, and it was just like this web of lies and deceit and portals just showing up everywhere. And I honestly think that the real whole purpose, the whole reason that they had to shut down OPR was they just couldn't handle it.
Analogy for you.
What's up?
Halloween. So you go, knock on the door, I walk outside, I have the bowl of candy, I put a couple of pieces of candy in your bag, and you go to the next door. Because of their staffing levels, OPR essentially set a bowl of candy outside the door, and people ran up and just grabbed handfuls and just took off, and then everybody else just ran up. There was nobody manning the door. There was no quote-unquote gatekeeper to hand out the candy, and these people figured that out and just set up a loop where nominate, review, and there was nobody there checking it. There's no Niantic Tintina, there's no Niantic Aaron, Orin, LC, anyone, and people were just running wild.
Yep. I think that's exactly it. And I think that this is one of my favorite phrases since you've said it on the show. Pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered. And I think, so reading through that Reddit thread, there's a lot of people who are just like, this has been happening in my area. This has been happening in this area, but on a much, much smaller scale.
Right.
Where people were getting away with it for months. Like, how long how long have they been split? Like, how long has it been since they introduced OPR?
So the split was May 23rd, and I think OPR maybe launched in September, October, maybe? Does that sound about right?
October, yeah. So like October to February when this article came out. So like there was a month in between when that article came out and when Niantic Spatial pulled the plug.
Yes.
Which is essentially what they did. Like, they just reached over to the servers and went, pew! Try and cheat now, sucker. It's just, so if other people have realized that they can get away with this in other areas, and then this one group was just like, well, screw it, I want portals everywhere, and then they just went ham and got caught, essentially. And I'm sure someone from Niantic Spatial clicked on that website, read through that, and was like, "Oh, bleep, expletive," and
said, "Hey, how can we fix it? Oh, we can't. We got to shut it down. That's the only way to stop it is to shut it down."
I suspect that they knew a lot about this before that article came out. Like, I really believe, I find it hard to believe that they didn't at least have some sort of inkling of what was happening.
Right.
And they were trying to take steps to do all the other things that they want and manage all the cheaters. Mm-hmm. Because let's face it, like the Wayfarer team and Scopely took a lot of people. Like a lot of the Wayfarer team went with Wayfarer. So there wasn't a whole lot of people. I know Tibbs stayed with Niantic Spatial. Mm-hmm. But like if you paid me $1,000 for every name other than Tib that stayed with Niantic Spatial, you would give me $0.
No, we'd give you one. Brian Rose. That's it.
Don't see. Well, yeah, okay, yeah, but that's like, he's an Ingress guy. Like, he's not like a mapping OPR.
True. No, you're
guy.
right.
Like
you're
someone,
right. Yeah.
I'm talking about someone from the Wayfarer team that went the other direction.
Yeah.
Right. Like, I would, other than Tibbs, I would $0. So like, poor Tibbs. I can't imagine that.
Such a nice dude. Also
pulling his hair out at this point. Because, like, they've got a small team, right? They've got competing priorities already, so now you're stretched thin as it is. And let's face it, the amount of people who play Ingress is dwarfed by the number of people who play Pokemon Go. So if you were to have this level of cheating in Pokemon Go, someone would notice. Mm-hmm. Somebody who cares about the map would go, hold on. This is not right. Or what happens more often than not is a spoofer's just like, this is a playground, shares it with their other spoofers, someone shares it on Twitter, and then someone gets it removed. Which is the life cycle of these areas in Pokemon Go.
That's right.
Right?
That's right.
Like,
again, pigs get fed, hogs get slaughtered.
Hogs get slaughtered because people can't keep the crap to themselves. They can't just say, "Hey, I have a good thing. I put it on the dark web of Pokemon Go." They don't. No. They want to post on Twitter to get the clout. Look at this area that I'm spoofing to, and now I have like all these shinies from my community day, and people are just like, "That doesn't look." And it's like it's me, you.
Everybody's got to flex. Yes, we have.
Yeah.
Everybody's got to flex. Nobody can be subtle anymore.
Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know how many times. And like, I don't like to abuse the direct channel that we have to Niantic very often, right? But a couple of times have been like, hey, I don't want to post this on the forums, but you might want to go to these coordinates and just have a gander.
Yes. Just take a look.
Sometimes they're like, oh, hot damn.
Yeah.
And then that's it. They don't say anything else, and then it's gone.
Right.
I'm like, I don't need you. I don't need them to come back and be like, "Hey, thank you very much." Like, no, like that's
right.
You here you go. You did your job. We're all good, right? And it's
that goes to the core of what I was talking about. You don't need to go on to the forum and flex that you're just like, "Hey, so and so, check this out," and you don't need to take credit for it. You're not like, "Oh, I'm flexing that I'm reporting this area." You're just like, "Hey, type in these coordinates and do with that what you will."
Yeah, I did post. I sent it to you first. I had 2 reviews in a row that were in the same little, I think, like tiny little campsite trailer park thing in Alberta.
Yep.
And there wasn't a way spot, I think, for 100 kilometers. I'm like, I feel bad for this guy. But this person went to Google and they copied the thumbnail of the photo of the playground and used that as his main photo, and then copied the thumbnail of a photo of, I don't remember what the second one was, but like you couldn't even click on it and grab the big photo,
right?
Because it was like 2 inches by 2 inches on my screen, and I'm like, this is suspicious. And it was the first result. Like, I Google reverse searched it, and there it was. I'm like, come on, man. Like, I feel bad for you, but this is terrible. Like, if you had to put some effort into it, if you're gonna cheat,
yeah, exactly. Give it a little effort.
Yeah. But it's like these guys were putting in effort to cheat. Like, they had bots and scripts and probably the OPR website on a laptop or a computer just 24/7. Just reviews. And people were just like, well, how did they get away with this? I get a cooldown if I review too quickly. And they're like, we don't have to do quickly. They can just take 2-3 full minutes to do every single review. And you think, how many 3-minute segments are in 24 hours? A lot. Right?
Yeah, for sure. A lot.
Like, I'm not even gonna do the math, but it's a lot. Like, that's a lot of reviews you can do every day. And if you've got enough bots all voting the same way on the same things, you're gonna get agreements in the thousands every day. So people were just like, this is how they got caught. People were like, there's absolutely no way you can have an Onyx level badge inside 4 days.
Right.
Something is amiss here. And then people started looking into it, and we're just like, oh, hot damn. Right? And it's just like, back to the point that started all this, kind of went off on a tangent there, but like, Ingress has so few players now that they probably felt that they could get away with it.
And they did for a while.
And they did for a while. Right? And I think that because there are so few people playing Ingress, by proportion, you have fewer people who actually care about the map.
Right.
So the likelihood of you getting away with something like this is far, far higher. And I think that's what happened. I think that they're just and the other problem is a lot of this was in China, right? And the GPS maps in China are notoriously inaccurate because the government says that in your China government approved, we don't have accurate GPS maps of China for political safety reasons, right? Because it's China.
Right.
So people were just like, oh, well, that portal might not actually be there because China. So a lot of it just went unreported until, math wizards were just like, hold on.
You're like, what? Yeah.
That's just wild. That whole article, and I'll share the link in the comments, but the one thing he says is like, I know what it takes to grind recon. I once owed 1,600 points for an official Wayfarer cap and it took me 3 months to pay it back, and they accomplished that in 3 days.
3 days. I mean, it's just crazy to see it's just crazy. I don't even know how to put it into words or how to fathom it. It's just crazy.
So let me pull up Ingress real quick. So one might argue he's just a maniac, but then they found another user who December 27th, 2025 had a Platinum Recon badge, and then by January 2nd, 2026 had an Onyx Recon badge, and that's 5,000 agreements inside a week.
Now, part of this, if Ingress had more players, you can see what other players are doing unless they have it blocked, as opposed to Pogo, where you can only really see someone's XP. You can see all of the badges on Ingress, and you can like track somebody's progress. It's a little creepy, but you can do it.
Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's definitely a little bit creepy, but it's what led to these getting. There was 27 of them.
27. I had said 17. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
so imagine
27.
thousands and thousands of portals with 27 people. That's just wild.
Yeah. So for years, Chinese operators had something called OPR brainstorming, an IITC plugin that records review data and shares it. And if a senior player rates a portal 5 stars, then the plugin shows it to everyone, and they all do the same. So it's like that would scream voting ring right there.
Oh, for sure.
So that got shut down in April 2025, and which was apparently quite sudden. I think that Niantic probably finally caught wind of it and was like, here's a letter for my lawyers that says you should probably stop doing this. And they went,
stop doing this.
And they just kind of just, see you later, right? I think it's those people that did this. I think they were just like, screw you in your cease and desist. Watch this. Hold my beer.
Yep.
So,
and they knew that there was limited people watching the shop. So there was really nobody to, they're like, hold my beer. Nobody's here to hold my beer. Okay, fine. And then they just walked in and did it.
Yep.
So crazy.
Like it was all enlisted players too. Or what's the opposite of resistance? I don't even remember.
Enlightened.
Enlisted.
Yeah, the green
It was
team.
all enlightened players too. So it was just like all these agents were just creating these portals and capturing them for themselves, and it's not like not giving them up because they had bots to do that too. And it was just terrible. So read the article. I'm not going to go through everything that's in here. It's crazy how they thought of this, how they put it together, how they managed to get away with this for so long.
Right.
Because you gotta think that like December 27th to January 2nd, 5,000 agreements is absolutely insane.
That's so crazy.
I reviewed my butt off last week. Like I did a lot, and I got 251 in a week. 251 agreements, and I was like, "That's a lot. That's a crazy amount for what I was doing." I felt accomplished, and then I was looking at this, and it's just like, "Oh, they got 5,000 in a week," and I'm like, "What?"
You're like, "What?" You're like, take your 251 and multiply it by the factor of X how many times, and then you get to 5,000. That's, I don't know, man. That's dedication. That's something that I think, what if they were using their brain for forces of good versus evil? Where would we be in the world?
Right? Where would we be? And where would we be indeed, yeah. And another cool thing about this article is there's a cat in the bottom left corner that you can interact with. So I thought that was cool.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Completely irrelevant to the story, but it looks like my cat, and I thought it was cute. Nice. So what do we got? Where do we go from here? And I think that is the question on every OPR agent's mind right now. And the truth is, I don't know. I don't know. And I mentioned this 3 weeks ago. I mentioned it last week when I called. It's funny how I mentioned that they're going to start losing the people who don't want to do both, and all of a sudden the whole system just collapses. Like
Shuts down. I don't think we go
do it on
anywhere.
purpose.
No, I don't think we go anywhere because game developers have to stay one step ahead of everybody. So they have to stay where they are to develop the game, but then they've got to say, where's the holes in our system? Where are people going to cheat? And they've got to stay ahead of that. And with their limited amount of people as it is, which led to this in the first place, I don't see it being turned on anytime soon. I really don't.
No.
And I think it's one of those things where it's just going to kind of fade away.
Yep. I said in our Discord that we're not going to see OPR for a long time. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm talking 2027 at the earliest.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I would not be surprised if it's later than that, because to be able to combat this level of cheating without some sort of AI to help you, that's going to take a while to figure out. And with the limited number of people that they've got, and it sucks because Niantic Spatial is a mapping company at heart, which is why they kept Ingress, which is why they want to keep Ingress running.
Yes.
But I wonder, and I'm going to go back to what we talked about last week. Like, I wonder if they don't just ungamify OPR and unlink it from Ingress and say, hey, we're building a map. Straight up, we're building a map to sell to companies so that they can use it for mapping. This is what we're doing.
Yep.
If you want.
But now, would people be motivated to do anything with that if there's no gamification for them or no benefit for them? I don't know that I would.
No. I mean, I probably would, because I enjoy doing this sort of thing.
Yeah,
but,
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
that's a good point.
They would have to come up with some other form of a carrot.
Right.
Like that. But even then, like, if you give them too big of a carrot, these people are just going to fake that too.
But Chris, tell me this: how is Ingress going to maintain and grow the game when they're not adding new portals? Like, I know, like I said last week, there's probably some Ingress agents that are rejoicing. Oh my goodness, this is awesome! I've got my couchy and I've got my, thing on top of a mountain and there's nothing blocking it. But I don't know that I'd want to hang out with those guys. I don't think those people would be someone I'd want to break bread with. That's neither here nor there. But how does the game survive if you're not adding new things to it and the game is not growing? At some point, it's stale, right? It's just... Think about what happened after the map split and Wayfarer continued and Ingress didn't add anything new. And then when you could, people flooded to it because they were like, oh my God, I can add all these new things. Now it's back to being stale and it's just blah. It doesn't really make you want to do anything. I don't know. Just putting that out there.
No, I mean, you're right. And the whole premise of the map and the game is to explore, right? And if you're not adding new things to explore, sure, you can still go out and you can play the game, but like you're taking half of the whole point of the game out of the game.
Right.
And it's just going to become stale because you're just going to do the exact same thing every single day. At least if you've got new portals, you'd be like, oh, okay, now I need to rethink my anchor and the way that I do this. And it's now I can maybe now I can create an anchor in this way and then use that one to do that. And then you can strategize. And that's half of the fun of Ingress is taking that.
You can make a new triangle.
Right, exactly. It's like you can use geometry to figure out how to best manipulate the map and kind of cover an area. And a lot of people I enjoy that a little bit, like not an exorbitant amount where I'm playing it. Like that was the first time I'd opened Ingress since
in a long
they
time.
Announced OPR was shut down. So like in a week. And I had a Sojourner streak of 100.
Oh wow! Look at you.
It's gone now, but
okay.
I got sick and I lost it, and then I didn't open Ingress for like 3 days. I'm like, nope, I'm gonna start over. And like 3 days later, they were like, oh, OPR is going away for a while, and I'm like, meh, I don't care anymore, right? But some people do, And some people love Ingress, and some people love playing the game. And having new portals show up kind of changes your whole mindset about how you're supposed to play the game, and that's half of the fun. That's exciting. But if you don't have that, are they going to start losing people that they really can't afford to lose as it is?
Well, so they've lost. I mean, I don't know who's left besides the hardcore people, because I had my core subscription and never played the game. They were getting $7.99 US for me probably for about 8 months. And I never even really, I'd open the game once, hack a portal, but I definitely wasn't doing anything that was worth $7.99 US for months. And then when all that happened, I'm like, you know what? That's $8. I'm like, I don't really drink coffee, but I could go buy a coffee a day or a chai tea latte or something along those lines. So people, I'm sure they took a significant hit in their revenue just from core alone, because if you're a recon person or an overclock person and now you can't do either of those, and those were your fun things, like, why am I going to continue to give you money?
Yeah, 100%. And I would be really curious to see how many people canceled their core subscription right after they were like, yeah, OPR is not coming back for a while.
Yep.
Like, at that, I wonder how many people at that point were just like, okay, now I'm done. Like, at least for me, like, I didn't ever have a core subscription because I never played the game enough to make it worth it. But like, if I did, and I'm not level 16, and I'm looking forward to you rolling down the level requirement, and that's why I was playing Ingress. I was trying to get to level 12 in anticipation of them eventually dropping it to 12, so I could get access that much earlier. But now if you're telling me that you're not going to do it at all, like, what incentive do I have to grind?
You have no incentive to grind at all. Like, zero.
So, like, I wonder if at that point, like, it just tanked. And that's why they're just like, okay, I understand that we're probably going to lose a lot of people, but we need to come up with other things to figure out to draw people in, right? So can't be. I saw one person on Reddit that was just, hey, why don't you do a crossover with Futurama? I would spend $100 on tokens or whatever from that. And then a bunch of people were just like, absolutely. And I bet you some of the Niantic Spatial was like, Futurama. And they were like, oh, Simpsons. And it's like,
Simpsons, yeah.
What kind of other crossovers could they do that people get people to spend money?
Right. They did the Running Man of that movie, and I don't know how well that went over. I don't know. They put out some stats, but I don't know how well that went over.
Mm-hmm. But like,
so
for OPR, I would be shocked if they get back to it inside of 12 months. Like, actually,
for sure.
Shocked.
Yeah. Because you think they have to fix the problem, patch it, and then put something out where someone can't manipulate it, but then they also have to hire a security guard, quote unquote, to make sure someone else isn't trying to attack the website and do the same thing again.
Yeah. And like, I wonder if they'll spend the first little bit of resources that they probably really don't have trying to figure out just how many people were doing this, right? And then, because you got to think, first they got to get everybody out, right? So think of it like a nightclub that's just been trashed. You need to kick out all of the people who are the problem, right? So now you've got everybody out who's the problem. Now you need to fix the map of all of the things that the problem people put on the map. And you got to do those two things before you even think about rolling it back out again, or even think about getting it to a point where you feel comfortable rolling it back out again. So, like, that's 4 months right there.
For sure. Easy.
Right? And it's probably closer to 6 months because it's not a priority now. Right? Like, maybe the cleaning up the map part will be more of a priority than anything else, because if this stuff is on their map and they're trying to sell this map to companies, then it's going to need to be clean, right? So at the very least, they need to do that first before they get rid of all the people. But that's like 4 to 6 months easy. And then, like you said, they got to figure out all the security stuff and try to figure out how they're going to manage it going forward, how they're going to prevent it. Like I'm talking mid next year before I think even hear
I don't disagree with you at all.
anything about it. And like, what's it going to look like when it comes back? Are they just going to scrap OPR and come up with a new system? Like, is OPR like dead for forever?
Because OPR, remember what I said, it was Control V of Wayfarer. Without Niantic, Tintino, and team, there was really no difference, except that there was a couple of bells and whistles that weren't there. Nobody was creating plugins for it, at least that I knew of. So it was just kind of like Wayfarer Lite.
Yeah. Or do they pay Scopely and reintegrate with Wayfarer again?
My God. Oh, that would be hilarious. That would be so funny.
That thought just popped into my mind when you were talking right there. And if you're watching that, you can probably see the moment that I dawned on me. Like, wouldn't that be the funniest thing ever?
That would be hilarious.
So it turns out, remember when I left home to go for college? Turns out I can't live on my own.
Right. I'm coming back home. I'm going to live in mom's basement. Yeah.
Or Niantic Spatial left with the Niantic team, and they were just like, I'm going out. I can't live with you anymore. And then now it's the husband crawling back to the wife and being like, it sucks out there. Take me back.
Take me back, please.
Take me back. But like, I worry that they're going to lose so many people who wanted to do this. That's not. It's not going to be the same when it comes back. Like, it absolutely won't. And I wonder whether or not, because they said straight up when they rolled this out, they're like, we want to roll it out slow so that we can figure out how we're going to manage it, and server loads and all this stuff. And frankly, that was probably the best choice that they ever made. Like, I hated it and I thought it was stupid at the time, but looking back, this could have been 10 times worse if they just released it to everybody level 10 and higher.
Because the people that were doing the abuse had to get their Ingress accounts up to level 16 in order to participate. So exponentially could have been more accounts to abuse if they had lowered it to 10, because it's easier to get to 10 than it is to get to 16. So, but on the other hand, on the flip side, they might have caught it sooner if there was more. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Either way, I really worry that OPR is just dead, and
I think so too.
They'll come up with something else in a year and a half, 2 years, and most people, I think they're going to give it enough time that most people won't necessarily question it too much. They're like, oh, all right, that's just the replacement. Like, but you and me will be like, hang on.
Hold on a second.
So we'll see. I think that they'll probably have to roll it out slow again when they do release it again in a year and a half to 2 years. I hope I'm wrong. Like, I hope in 6 months they're just like, we're good now, and we can go back to doing LP art. But time will tell. So, moving on. Shout out to Aquablast64 for ensuring that we are only giving you accurate information on this. We talked briefly last week, and I said I wasn't sure about some things about the web submits. I was doing some testing this week, and Aquablast tagged me in our Discord yesterday, the day before.
It might have been the day before.
It might have been the day before. Said pretty much the exact same things that I was coming to the conclusions with, so it was nice to hear someone else say the same things that I was kind of coming to the conclusions with. So let's jump into topic number 2.
I wonder what topic number 2 is going to be.
Web submits. I wanted to talk about web submits real quick because we have a little bit extra time. I won't take too much time on this because I honestly think this is the biggest, best quality of life improvement that Wayfarer has dropped in a long time.
I don't disagree with you.
as long as you have, this is my favorite part about this, and I'll get to my caveat to this in a second. As long as you have one submission available, you can create as many drafts as you want.
Right.
I'm going to pull up my Wayfarer account just so the people watching at home can see, because it's such an intuitive system. It's great, right? So you can store more Wayspot submissions that you have available, but you need to have Wayspot submissions available in order to release them. Right?
Exactly.
So if you've got one submission available and 40 drafts, you can't submit 40 drafts. You would do one, and then
you have to
0.
wait until
right.
But in the alternative, you would not have been able to capture that with the photo. The photo is the big thing. You can come home and edit the text, but the photo is the big thing.
Why? Every time I've launched the Wayfarer website in the last 2 days, it's put me in France.
Really?
Like,
interesting.
Here, let me share this. France. I am in France right now. If I click the submit button, new submission. Oh, it fixed it. Okay, we're gonna cut that out.
Yeah, we'll cut that out.
Shows exactly where I live. So
that's fine. I'll cut that out. Don't worry about that.
Right. So let's.
There'll be some pixelation or censoring or something of that.
Okay, let me start over. All right, let me pull this up for our viewers at home. This is funny. Okay, so that's where I work. You can see where I work. I don't work there anymore, so don't try and dox me because I'm there anymore. This every time I load the Wayfarer website in the last few days, it's put me in France. I don't know why.
So crazy.
It just did it. It just did it while we were we edited it out because it showed my home address at the end. But it did it. So when I was doing this earlier today to kind of create a couple of test drafts, one of them was in France. So another one of the caveats to this is you have to be within 10 kilometers of the pin location when you submit the draft into queue. So
I think that's a flaw.
Yes,
I think that's a flaw.
I think it's
like that.
I don't like it either.
No, I agree with you. I don't. Let me say this. I don't disagree with you, but I've never liked the 10-kilometer rule to begin with. I thought it always should have been 25 kilometers. I think 25 kilometers is prudent, but I do agree with you that it is on purpose.
Yes, 100%. I misinterpreted what you were saying there. I agree, it is a flaw. I honestly think that I should be able to create a draft wherever I am and then fix it and then submit it from wherever I am, provided that when I created the pin, that's where the pin stays. Like because you can go in and you can adjust the pin later, right? But like I think if I was there to put the pin there, I don't think that you should be able to move the pin 10 kilometers further away from where you are.
Yes, right? 100% agree.
Keep that. But like I think if I create the draft and the pin is within that little 10-kilometer circle, and then I leave that 10-kilometer circle to say go home, I think that I should still be able to submit that from wherever I am because I started it when I was physically in. Well, I wasn't physically in France, but like if I was physically in France, right?
Yes, so, no, I agree. And the only difference is you drafted it instead of submitting it. Right. So it is a legitimate Wayspot nomination. You really wanted to take that extra step to make sure it was perfect, maybe do some research and get a link to put in the supplemental. So you're doing better by the game by drafting it and fixing it later, as opposed to just throwing some slop out there while you're on site.
Yep. No, 100%. So like you can go in after, and so I'm having issues with the location on my browser. There we go.
You're back in France.
See, it's in France, right? And it says pinned location must be within 10 kilometers of your location. So I couldn't submit this even if I wanted to.
Right.
But like one of the things that I love about, I'm going to pull that down. One of the things I love about this is you can store more Wayspot submissions than you have available. You can start your submissions with just the title or just the photo.
Right.
That's it. Like those drafts that I created, all I did was type test into the description or the title and hit submit.
Yep.
Done. Right?
Yep.
So how many times have people, and we've seen it with Cole of the Week, we've seen it in our Discord, I've done it. You take a photo that you think is fantastic, you do all this stuff from your phone, and then you hit submit, and then you get home and your thumb is at the top, or someone is just crossing the street looking straight at you like this and staring into the soul of your camera, and you're like, I can't draw this. I can't. That's gonna get rejected. But
or you realize, oh shoot, there's a license plate right there that I didn't notice when I was taking the picture.
Right. So like you could take 17 different photos from 15 different angles of the Wayspot. You could take one photos 10 or 15 minutes apart. You could take multitudes of supporting photos, and you don't have to submit any of them into the draft until you get home. So then you go home, you're in good lighting, you're inside. You can send them to your computer if you want, or you can just sit on your phone and scroll through them and really zoom in and be like, okay, this is the best one of the group. I'm going to attach this to my draft. This is the best affording photo of the draft or of the group. I'm going to submit that to the thing. And they're okay, now it's a statue. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to Google. I'm going to take one of my photos and I'm going to Google reverse image search it. Oh, look, I found the artist. So you can do all of that research.
Correct.
Before it ever hits the queue, before anything can ever get changed. And you can do all of this while it's in a draft, and then once it's perfect, you hit submit and off it goes, right? But
like we said last week, one of my pros was it would reduce the amount of coal because people would be submitting more thoughtful, well-prepared POIs versus just doing it in the field with bad lighting and a hot phone.
Yep. And another thing
I stand by that.
100%. I completely agree. And another thing that you can do is you submit a draft, and then like searching the nearby map in Pogo is not exactly always intuitive. So you can come home, say I got 2 things, 3 things in drafts. I'm going to go to the Wayfarer website, look at their map, and click zoom in and then click on everything in that area. So, is that thing on the nearby? Is that a power spot? Is it an import? Or is it actually like a Wayfarer submission? Oh, it's a Wayfarer submission? Not even going to submit it. So now that thing that you would have had to have withdrawn never shows up in your contributions.
And it doesn't waste one of your nominations. Because before you submit it, and now all of a sudden you don't have 40, you have 39. I guess at the end of the day, unless you're a high volume submitter, it doesn't matter. But everyone counts. That's an extra day you have to wait. So, but here's the thing, Chris. To your point, you're not wasting network resources by submitting it and then withdrawing it. It's in your drafts. It never hits the server.
Yep.
I think that's a big plus right there.
Another bonus to this too is you can select multiple drafts and delete them at the same time. You can select all of your drafts and delete them at the same time. So like if you go out and do 4 or 5 things thinking you're great, and then all of a sudden you get home and see that they're all on the map and find out that the property owner has asked Pokemon Go to remove them all from the map, and now you've got 7 things in your draft, you can just delete them.
Yes. Delete them
See
all.
you later. Just select all.
Get them all.
Goodbye. Right, which is what I'm going to do right now before I forget, because all of these are garbage. I did 3 of them. Just kind of going through the whole process. It's so easy too. I just love it so much. I honestly think I will never submit anything through the Pogo app ever again. I'm just being honest.
I don't think I will either. And you know this, and I know we differ on this a little bit, but I don't particularly like my name on the POIs. I'd rather it just not say my name. And I know a lot of people do, and this is no shade on people who do or not, but I mean, in my area, people know what I've done. I don't. Like I said earlier, I don't need to flex, and I don't think it's necessary to flex. Some people like to say, "Hey, that new gym, I did that," and I'm like, "I don't care." You know what I mean? But that's just me. Some people like it. And I know you like it. It's just not something that I necessarily need to have out there. And to be quite honest, sometimes I have a lot of spaghetti nominations, and they go through. They stuck to the wall, and I don't necessarily want my name on one of those that was in the gray area either. So it kind of cuts both ways.
Mm-hmm. No, 100%. Right.
I think I just came up with something new, a spaghetti nomination.
Spaghetti nomination.
I might try to make something out of that.
I love it.
What do you think?
I love it.
Spaghetti
That's
nomination?
fantastic. Yeah.
Okay. We'll try to run with that. Spaghetti nomination. All right, continue.
We'll workshop it. Get it on a t-shirt.
Yes.
I will say, so Aquablast also said this, just to wrap this up. It's great that you can basically have unlimited drafts, but it should not be treated as a substitute for us needing more nominations. Right?
Yes.
And
fair. Yes.
And you did mention that, there's not a lot of people who will burn through 40 in a day or whatever, but there's enough of us.
Mm-hmm.
Right. There's enough of us who, like, I have 34 just in Oshawa that I need to do probably in the next couple of weeks once the weather starts to clear up, that I'm going to burn through in probably 2 days.
Yeah.
Just stuff that I found on the map, right? We need more nominations. And this is a great step in that direction. And I'm going to put this whole process through a workout. And they have said, the Wayfarer team has said that this is just the initial stages, like the map. This is just the initial rollout. And they have upgrades and other things planned for it. And I can't wait to see it. But I think that in its current iteration, I love it. I think it's great.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things
I love it too. Yeah.
The Wayfarer team has knocked this one out of the park. And
the only thing for me is I did a couple of drafts the other day when I was on the other side of town, and then I got home and I'm like, oh, now I got to drive back over there. I got to get within 10 kilometers of where I was. So I went on my lunch and I drove, I looked on the map and saw the circle, and I drove just inside the circle, and then I released it, and then I went back to what I was doing. So that's the only kind of pain in the neck, is I can never do it from my computer at home. I have to go and do my research, update it, and then get in the car and go back over there, get within that circle, and then hit submit.
Yeah. That would be the only thing that I would change, is the 10 kilometer thing not applying when you go to submit, only when you create the draft. I think that would be, because that will allow you to, and this is the other thing with the drafts that I forgot to mention, is that you can, if you put the pin down and you look at the satellite view later and it's off by a couple of meters, you can move it before you hit submit. And I think that is just chef's kiss, right? But in order to help the people who are on vacation, like if you go to somewhere and discover, like when I went to Norland, somewhere from my son's lacrosse thing, I burned through those 40 nominations in a single day.
Right.
And I still had 7 or 8 things that I wanted to do the next day. If I had drafts, I could have done it.
Yeah.
But I couldn't have done it. I would have had to have left them in my drafts till we went back up there. I just think that figuring out how to do that, and I know people will be like, oh, people will just spoof, and people are spoofing that stuff now. Right? You're not changing anything. You're just, you're making it easier for the 98%, while also making it easier for the 2%, sure. But the 98%, the 2% are going to do that anyway. So, I don't.
And we know firsthand the 2% are doing that now before this.
They're doing it now. Exactly.
They're doing it right now.
Right. At one point in Wayfarer's iteration, you could buy Pokestops on the internet. How do you think they were doing that?
Yes.
By spoofing. So, anyway, I just think that this is a great thing. I think that Aquablast is correct. We do need more nominations. I don't know if we're ever going to get them. There are.
We can hope.
I will say this. It did come up in the thread, and I think it was either Tintino or Niantic Aaron, and it's always one of the two, said that they had received that feedback from the ambassadors, and it was something that they were seriously looking into.
Yes.
So I think the plan is to give us more nominations. They just want to land on the number that makes the most sense.
Right.
Which,
what number would you say?
80.
80. Yeah. I mean, 80, if they went to 80 is what we had before. It wouldn't be an increase of anything. It would just make us whole to where we were.
Yep. I want 80. I think they'll give us 60.
I could see that.
I think we'll meet you in the middle. Here's 60.
Now, Chris, I remember the days when we had 7. So...
yeah, me too. Me too. That sucked. Like I did that park in Plattsburgh in like increments because I only had like if I had 40, I could have done that whole park in one day.
Right.
But like it took me months because it was like because I was new at Wayfarer and I screwed up the first two of the first 7 that I did, and I had to withdraw them, and I was like, okay, great, now I'm only doing 5. And then it was terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, I built my park with limited nominations. Like I said, I could have done it in a day. It would have been, and the way things are going through, it would have just been like halos everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what I want to put on a t-shirt? I want to put on a t-shirt, and we probably wouldn't be able to do this, but like that meme of Abe Simpson yelling out the window with the caption, "Back in my day, we only had 7 nominations a day or a week." Right? Something like that. Wear it to Go Fast.
Yeah.
You'll probably get
Man,
sued.
we're going to need Go Fest to last like 2 weeks for all of our t-shirt ideas.
I'll just bring a backpack and just change the shirt out every hour. Someone will
have like wardrobe changes. Like, oh, it's the fire hour. We're going to put on this t-shirt. Oh, it's the water hour. We're going to put on this t-shirt.
Auction off Go Fest worn t-shirts.
There you go. That's awesome.
That's a terrible idea. All right. You got anything else with that?
Nothing else, man. I think you nailed it. I think it's awesome.
All right, cool. We'll running a little bit long here, so we'll take a quick break, play some dad jokes, and come back on the other side with Wayspot of the Week and Call of the Week.
This is Wood Woes, Sylph Scientist. You're listening to the Wayspotters Podcast.
This is A is for Andis, Florida's most hated wayfarer. You're listening to the Wayspotters Podcast.
This is Genji, and we are listening to the Wayspotters Podcast show.
Season 5 of Dad Jokes. You guys keep encouraging him. This is why we can't have nice things.
Chuck Norris counted to infinity. Not once, but twice. Chuck Norris doesn't do push-ups. He pushes the earth down. When Chuck Norris enters the room, he doesn't turn the lights on. He turns the dark off. Chuck Norris doesn't flush the toilet. He scares the crap out of it. Chuck Norris doesn't wear a watch. He decides what time it is. One time, Chuck Norris threw a grenade, and it killed 50 people. Seconds later, the grenade went off. Chuck Norris can slam a revolving door. That's it. That's the joke. R.I.P. Chuck Norris. You were a great hero.
And welcome back. I hope you enjoy the dad jokes this week. We're going to jump straight into Wayspot of the Week.
This is Elf from Space, and here's another Wayspot of the Week, which is probably another 2-story mural.
Wayspot of the Week number 1 comes to us from No Longer Submits LCC Markers, which is a really long username in the Wayfarer discussion Discord. The title of this is Gaia. It is from Dublin. piece of artwork by Luke Jerram in the famous Long Room, featuring a globe of 6-meter diameter, including a 120 dpi imagery of our Earth. And it is just wild what this is. It's
wild. When I saw this, I wasn't really sure what I was looking at, but like, dude, yeah, go ahead and describe that.
It's a painting of the Long Room in Dublin, and there's like a really super detailed Earth just hanging in the middle, and there's people looking up at it, and it's like this whole really long thin room is like a cathedral style with the curved arched ceiling and the pillars going up either side, and there's a bunch of people just staring up at this globe that's just hanging in the middle of this hallway. And
so
I just think
cool.
that the Earth is so bright and shining, like it's in the middle of the day, and the rest of it is kind of dark and gothic. I just thought that the juxtaposition between the two was really, really cool.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's really cool. Like I said, I was like, is that real? Is that Memorex? Is like, what is? Oh, that's a deep cut. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. But yeah, that's no one's gonna get that joke at all. No one's gonna get it. But yeah, I'm like, I would love to go see this in person. Like, absolutely love to go see it.
It's fantastic. I think this is absolutely fantastic, and I kind of want to go to Dublin just to spin this top.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Oh, Chris, did you hear Ireland is really, really growing, especially its capital? Some would say it's Dublin. Sorry. Okay. That literally, that just came to me. Sorry. Okay. All right. Bonus dad joke for you.
Bonus dad jokes. All right. Before we get too off the rails here, let's jump into Wayspot of the Week number 2.
This is Sarah Amanda, and here's some Wayspotters approved points of interest.
So Wayspot of the Week number 2 comes to us from Typhlosionus1 in the Wayfarer discussion Discord. And Typhlosionus1 has sent us a really cool POI to look at. It is from Rockford, Illinois, and which is not necessarily a suburb of Chicago, but it's closer to Chicago than I am currently, so I'm going to call it a suburb. It's called Astron. Artwork created by local artist Peter Krishko and sponsored by the city of Rockford. Now, what you're looking at is, God, how do I explain this? Okay, there's a park, and there's green grass, and then there's a circle, like a cement circle in the green grass with a plaque on it, and then there's 3 haystacks? Would you say those are haystacks, Chris?
They look
I don't even know what those...
Skinny haystacks, yeah.
Yeah, like skinny haystacks, but they're not hay-colored. One is like green with like some midnight blues. One is kind of purpley midnight blue, and then one has some yellows and some oranges in it. And the haystacks looks like they're wearing belts. So imagine like a haystack, you put a belt on it, nice and tight, cinch it tight, and then the top kind of feathers out. And then there's just 3 of them sitting there in a triangular formation, kind of like Ingress, almost like we planned this. Sitting in a triangular formation. And we don't know what the plaque says, but it's really cool. It's very abstract, and I'm sure people kind of pull over and slow down and look at it and walk over and go, what the heck is this? But it's definitely a Wayspot of the Week.
Absolutely. It's one of those art installations in a park that's just, it's eye-catching, and I'm sure you're right. People go walk past and be like, oh God, I'm going to pull over, or I'm just going to stop walking through this side of the park, and I'm going to walk over to that side of the park, because what the heck is that?
Yep, exactly.
Awesome. All right, let's jump into something that's not fantastic. I've been working on the Wayfarer all the live long day. I've been working on the Wayfarer just to pass the... Uh-oh. Oh, no. Hey, Jamal. I found some coal. All right. Coal of the Week this week comes to us from Agent X in the Pokemon Professor Network Discord. If you would like to have your Coal of the Week featured on the show, more information on how to join the Discord at the end of the episode. This is Austin Waters Fountain. And the description is Austin Waters Fountain at Tech Ridge. And this is a nice fountain. I'm not going to lie. It's got like a pergola beside it. It's a brick water fountain that is wider at the base and kind of triangular up to the top. Water flowing out all four of the sides. And it's got a circular base with like a little pool of water in it. And this all sounds wonderful. And this would be an absolute wonderful way spot. In fact, it is an absolute wonderful way spot. The problem is the main photo has the Austin Waters watermark on it. So they have taken this photo from the website, which is a big no-no. The more frustrating thing is the supporting photos. There are 5 of them, and HNX shared all 5 of them. I'm not going to share all 5 of them, but all 5 of them would have made fantastic main photos.
But they had to use the watermark. We almost need a segment, Chris, of how to mess up a good Wayspot nomination.
Yeah. And like the absolute worst part, it would have been a duplicate. It is a duplicate. It already exists.
Oh.
Like strike 1, strike 2, strike 3.
Yep, you're out.
You are out. So you know what would have prevented this? Drafts. Yes, drafts would have prevented it. To bring the whole show together. Drafts would have prevented this.
Yep, sure would have.
You got anything else?
I got nothing else, my friend. You can close us out.
Perfect. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Wayspotters. We really appreciate it. A big thank you goes out to our executive producer, Kate the Cons, our show historian, Maddie G, and to all of our patrons. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much. We would like to thank our gym leaders, Maddie G, Espen Willow, KJ Deman, Herbert, Brandy, Bridgert, Fisher, JZE, and James, and the other executive producers on the network for Good Morning Johto, Monkey Bread, and Lured Up, Xander. And also, we got a new Elite Four Patreon member in the last couple of days, and I'm going to quickly scroll and find their name because I forgot.
Ozark Renee. Nene.
Ozark Renee, yes.
Yes, she goes by
Nene. Thank you
Nene.
so much for that, Nene. They're going to be at GoFest with us too, aren't they? I believe.
Yep,
with
they
the
will
group.
be.
So, looking forward to hanging out with a bunch of people at GoFest this year. Now that the tickets are out and we're making plans, I got to figure out if my kid has a lacrosse tournament that week and if he can even go. So, we'll figure it out. Finally, our Giovanni level supporter, Boris Izyav. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate all of the support that you guys give us. Now, if you enjoyed this episode of Wayspotters, there are a few ways that you can show us. Follow us on all our socials. We are on Twitter at Wayspotters. We are also on Instagram at Wayspotters Podcast and on TikTok at I Make Wayspots. We are incredibly responsive and love interacting with our followers. Let us know what you thought about today's episode. You can also visit our website at www.wayspotters.com. From there, you can get links to everywhere you can download the show. You can also send us a message directly from the website. Or email us, wayspotters@pokemonprofessor.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and click the bell to be notified whenever we post a new video. For those of you who still need to be sure to check us out, youtube.com/@WayspottersPodcast. Leave us a voicemail on our hotline, 704-426-3710, or tweet us a voice message. You never know, your voicemail may appear on an upcoming episode of the show. Finally, if you are not a member of the Pokemon Professor Network Patreon, you can join us for as little as $1 US a month. All you need to do is go to patreon.com/PokemonProfessor. You will have access to the Discord for the entire family of shows across the Pokemon Professor Network, including Wayspotters, Special Conditions, Gotta Watch 'Em All, Purified Podcast, Good Morning Johto, Sleep It Off, After Darkrai, and Lured Up. It is a fantastic place filled with fantastic people. Jamal and I are active in the Discord quite a bit. We pull a lot of our stuff from the show from the Discord, so come and hang out. We would love to have you. With that, we look forward to you joining us again next week here on Wayspotters. We appreciate all of the support we get from every single one of you every week. We could not do this without you. And remember, it's not that far. Get out of your car.